Wow, kids, you're just going to have to come back tomorrow to find out more about what happened to Ringo, huh? Yep. Well, it's time for our review game, and I got to tell you something. My dad, he had a hard time remembering names, and so if he couldn't remember a name for kids, he came up with a special name for them, and it was kind of a funny word. Are you ready for this? It was Ooski Bibble. Turn to your neighbor and say, hey, Ooski Bibble, okay? That's a lot of fun, isn't it? Well, our review game today has a name that's really kind of fun to say as well, and that is Zonk. Can you guys say Zonk? Zonk, okay? Yeah, it's kind of a fun name. Well, this is also a very fun game. What we're going to do is that we're going to be asking you a Bible lesson question or a missionary story question, and if your team gets it right, then you get to come up here to this container and you get to draw a chip out of here. Now, there's actually 5 different colored chips in here. There's a white one, a blue one, a green one, red one, and then a black one as well. Each one has different points assigned to it. Now, like a white chip would be 100, a green one 200, the blue one is 300, the red one is 500, but the black chip, that's the Zonk chip. Now, once you get the question right, you can come up and draw a chip out. Now, you can take that as points, or you can continue to draw. You have to make up your mind. You want to keep drawing and get as many points as you can without getting that Zonk. But what happens if you get that Zonk? You lose all your points for that turn, and everybody has to yell, Zonk, okay? So this game is a lot of fun, and it takes a little bit of strategy as well. Now, remember, you can keep drawing as long as you don't get a Zonk. But if you get a Zonk, you lose all your points for that particular round. Okay, now, while we're doing this too, which is kind of fun, when your team is drawing, you should be yelling out points, points, points. But if you're the other team and you want them to get Zonk, what should you be yelling? Yeah, that's right, Zonk, Zonk, Zonk. So we have a lot of fun with that part of it. Okay. All right, well, let's split this teams up so we have a couple teams here. What we're going to do with this group today, we're just going to divide you right down the middle. So you're one team over here and your team over there. Now, you guys have 10 seconds to come up with your team name. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, it's time to hear your name. What is your name over here? Oh, God's team. That's a pretty neat team. That's a pretty name. All right, what over here? You guys don't know? Okay, your team I don't know. All right, so I just want you to realize, so we got team I don't know and God's team over here, and we'll be keeping score as we go through this. All right, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a question from the Bible lesson, okay, for God's team over here. And so you continue to ask questions back and forth between the Bible lessons and the missionary stories as well. And sometimes teams get way ahead, and like Zonk or some of the other games that we do. So here's what I do when one team gets quite a ways ahead, or it's getting down, and we'll have one final round. So I would say something like this. Team I don't know, man, you guys have really been very lucky, and you've got a lot of points versus God's team doesn't have a lot of points at this point. So this is our final round, but I'm going to give God's team a chance to catch up. And what we're going to do is they're going to answer the question correctly, okay? And then we're going to have somebody come up here, and they're going to keep drawing these chips until they either get ahead of team I don't know or they get a Zonk. Now, if they do get enough chips and they get ahead of team I don't know, then we're going to give team I don't know the same opportunity to do that. And so what you do by that is you kind of keep the game exciting, make sure that it doesn't get out of hand too far apart, and keep all the kids involved with that. So then Simplicity Zonk is a great fun game. Bring a lot of energy to it. Have the teams going back and forth between points, 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 and Zonk, Zonk, Zonk. Really get them excited about that. And then make sure you have somebody keeping score that can add as well. All right. So that's a review game for you.